Hello, guys. I am Paper and welcome to the third Pape recap show, the final one of the series. Joined with me is the one and only Bra Guy.
Hello, Sunshine community. Pleasure to be here as always. Super excited to recap the end of the tournament.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So as Bra Guy said, we're gonna be covering the eight or so matches that happened that in top eight. Um, so all the good ones. We got a lot of bingo to talk about.
Absolutely.
Um,
Some interesting choices were made throughout the tournament, and yeah, I'm excited to go through them because road control has really developed a lot since the start of this tournament, I think.
mm-hmm.
Like I remember in the first recap show we were sort of talking, we weren't sure where this variant was gonna go, what strategies were dominant. But I think now that we've seen a lot more of it, it's there are some ways you can go about it that are better than others.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go on ahead and do the thing. So, this was the first match, or I don't think it was the first one that happened, but this is the first match in top eight. This was
Okay,
me versus you, Brad guy.
interesting. Huh. So you must have been orange paper, right? Number one seed.
Uh,
Like no way you could lose this, right?
well, you see, Brad guy, I might have been purple.
Ah, interesting, interesting.
Yeah, you kind of kicked my ass.
A little bit. I think it was a lot closer than it seemed.
No, yeah,
So
it
yeah,
definitely
go.
was because I was at least trying to contest on a lot of things, but I definitely made a lot of poor decisions after my starting route that put me back on some
Yes.
things.
I think it was one key decision, but let's go back. Let's this card. It's pretty late game heavy. So I at the start, the way I routed this card, I sort of go two ways. Sometimes I try to pick exactly the goals I want and go for them, and sometimes I play more reactive, like pick a few rows, set up for a few things, and then see what my opponent does.
Mhm.
This card was very much I wanted these nine goals, and these were the nine goals that I ended up getting.
Mhm.
It was a start Rico, then take some Delfino shines or Pianta. I can't remember what order I did this, but win Pinna, and
Mhm.
then finish out Pinna, get hundreds in both bells, hopefully, and then that sets me up for 300 coins, like nine from Plaza. I'm set up for Radioshi and
Yeah.
Pianta, and so on. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, that was the big thing that I noticed in this card too, was the person who made it to Pinna first had a huge advantage in the potential row three play.
right.
Um, and since you just did Delfino Shines, it put you up in row one, and then it ended up giving you row three,
Yeah,
which helped.
I'm looking at this again. I really wonder if I should have skipped the 15 from Rico even. Like a straight Pinna rush looks really good here, and then your nine shines end up coming out of either Pinna
Out
or
of Pinna.
Pianta.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be really good. Honestly, Pianta might even be better with the quick 100, like while you already have Yoshi there, and then
That's an option.
yeah. But either way, that that might have even been a better play because the risk with the 15 in Rico is that if you were to do the other thing, right? If
Then
you were
you
to rush
then
Pinna,
you would have
you
been behind into Pinna,
yeah,
but
yeah.
and it would have been roughly the same, progress, except you would have had 15 more blue coins than me.
Yeah. Though maybe the risk is like if you did the two hiddens like you did here, if I had gone straight to Pinna, you finish out the 15 from Rico
Well,
and get nine shots
I didn't
from
do the
Rico.
two hiddens until way later.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
like you're right, you're right.
Because at that point, I was trying to mind game the crap out of you because I was in such a bad position.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'm looking back on it, and so the thing that happened was I dipped after Pinna 3, and I immediately flopped to row 5.
Hmm.
Um, but I could have stayed, gotten Yoshi, and I could have at least traded with you on the both bells or the 100 coin.
Yes. Well, it would have maybe been a trade. So my
Yeah.
my play was get one, delay click it enough so that I have a lead on the other one.
Mhm.
So it would have been a 50-50 whether I got both or we traded one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But either way, then
Um,
you have Yoshi, like you're more set up
I
for
was
Yoshi and
I was in a much
Pianta.
better
Like
position, and that was the other thing is if I had been smart, I would have realized Pianta was a part of the win condition, and that
yeah.
I needed it to get those two goals, and I like basically knew that Pianta was the next step in that route, and I should have,
Hmm.
read into that instead of going off and doing what I did.
Yeah, the biggest thing for me was like doing the 15 from gelato was a mistake, perhaps,
Yeah.
but the fact that you clicked it right away, like I knew you had been to Pinna, left, gone to gelato, and then
Yeah.
I was like, wow, okay, I know Paper's route. I can do things like I can take this pretty safe now. Like grab
Mhm.
the Delfino shines, which is probably what's next on your route, and then do Pianta. I don't remember the order, but like it gave me
Yeah.
a lot more confidence once you click that goal.
Mhm. Yeah, I can definitely see that. But yeah, that was how
What?
that match played out.
Hmm.
All right, let me go on ahead and do this. So this was our other winner semis match. This was SB versus Ramato. So before we talk about this match, let's talk about what happened 15 minutes prior to this match.
Yeah.
So SB and Ramato were playing a different bingo that was still in the tournament, but then SB got sound glitch, and not only did he get sound glitch, it also crashed.
Yeah. So to back up even more, like maybe 3 or 4 days before this match, I don't know what it was. Ramato messaged me. He like saw someone else get sound glitch somewhere, like the same glitch, the like really rare one. He
Yeah,
messaged me. He was like, "If this comes up in the tournament, what do we do?" And we talked it out a little bit, and then we were like, "Yeah, you run the rematch unless it's like super obvious that
yeah,
someone
was in the
had
lead.
to win." Yeah.
Hmm.
And but if the other person's still like even 20 minutes away from finishing, like you can't call that.
Yeah,
But and then that happens in Ramato's match, of course, and
yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
that first match, Ramato was in the lead. Like the it was by no means over, but Ramato seemed to be in a much better position. Looked like he had that match pretty locked up.
hmm.
But
But
there
then,
was still hope for SB, like if Romano made some poor decisions and SB made the right ones. So yeah, even with the sound glitch, we both felt like it had to be replayed.
hmm. But yeah, so let's get into this match. So, it looks like Ramato just start. I think Ramato started with blues, right?
Yeah, I must admit I didn't watch this one in as much or as close of detail.
Okay,
I
because I
sort of
didn't either. So,
flipped through it. Yeah, the stream was having some issues on this one, but that's all right.
um, but
But
yeah,
I think Ramato did hundreds a little early, if I
I do
remember
remember
right.
that also. I think
And
Ramato's
that,
initial plan was like the 15 and Bianco with the 100 coin,
yeah,
and then rushed
something
blues.
like that. Yeah,
Um, I'm guessing SB started. Did SB start Gelato? Probably
Rico.
Rico. But at some
Yeah,
point
I
he
don't
went to
know.
Gelato and he had the four shines and the Sandbird.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think the main thing here was just Ramada's initial route put him behind on a lot of stuff.
Hmm.
Because doing
Like 28
hundreds,
shines, 9 from a level, like
yeah.
Serena 3 no clip. If you don't have Yoshi, you can't do that. Like 2 from 5, honestly. If he's doing 100 coins, it's slow. Like,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Ramato in chat saying, I thought countering SB's Rico was really important so I went hard on row 4. Which we
Yeah.
can see because like that would have been really good because the 9 from a single level was in Rico, which means he probably had to get Rico 8 or
Yeah.
no,
You grab the 2 heads, but it's like one shine away at that point.
exactly,
So, yeah.
which would have given him like a good row 4, which forced Ramato's hand.
Right, right. The interesting, like, I think the hundreds and Bianco maybe could have waited a little later, but that's a really interesting, like, when do you do that?
Hmm.
But at the same time, like, if you just take 40 blues, then SB either has to do, like, Bianco 2 and Bianco hundreds, or,
Yeah,
like, go for bluebirds. Like, either way, it sucks. So maybe row 4 is not as, like, crucial.
probably could have played around it if he really wanted to, but
Yeah. But
I don't
hard, I
know.
mean, hard to say what's right here, yeah.
Hmm. Ramato also was one shine away from both the secret goals and 9 from a level,
Yeah.
but he just
Just
didn't.
some like yeah, just some unfortunate snipes. Yeah.
Hmm. Which leads to the card looking really purple, even though Ramato was probably a lot closer. Because if he
Right.
gets the 3 secrets or 5 secrets, then he's in a better position for row 2.
Hmm.
Um, he can at least fight for row 5 at that point if he needed to win.
Yeah,
And if he got the 9 from a single level, he would have won row 1, which would have put him in a much better position.
right. When
So,
you're playing from behind, though, it's tough to make those calls and like, yeah,
because when you're behind, you really have to isolate. Like, I have to get these goals and let these goals go and like lose this thing. So
yes, yeah. It's
sometimes
really
you,
important to predict what your opponent's going to do and like just barely snipe them to it. Because the way you make back time is not like you can a little by playing faster, but it's really by getting crucial snipes, making your opponent invest time into goals that they
they
then
don't.
don't get.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that match. We're gonna go on and talk about the last match in winners. So this is winners
Okay.
finals of Guy versus SB.
Yeah, this was a match.
So okay, Guy actually had a pretty good idea. Like
I
people
just went about it so poorly.
people
Yeah.
people will knock Guy for his route, but I saw it and I was like, this man's thinking right now, and he had a good
Okay.
plan. It just didn't fully work out.
Yeah, yeah. So let me like go through my logic here, right? So I played against you, Paper, and like you're fast, SB's fast, right? You're both faster than me by far.
Uh-huh.
If like the way I beat you, or one of the ways I beat you, was picking the 9 goals that I wanted and like gunning for them because I thought like you were going to take a different route.
Yeah.
So I was doing the same thing here, except I read SB's route a bit too hard. Like I thought for sure he was just going to go further in Rico, and like the route on this card looked really obvious to me. It looked like it was a hidden from Rico, do bloopers and 9 shines and pin a 5 from the back, get first to Noki and like
Uh
get
huh.
Eel. You have Serena there, like, and then
You have.
25, like row 1, you have
Mhm.
25 shines, the other Serena, and 20 blues from Noki
Yeah.
or Fruit Ladies or something.
Mhm.
So my thought was, okay, I am going to take row 1, was it? No.
Mhm. Or
Uh
was it? Oh, it's row 5.
yes. No, it was row 1 or and 5, yes. Um like 4, yeah, yeah. But so I isolated the yeah, row 5, the 2 hits from Gelato, blues, Bianco hundreds, also with reds as a backup. And then row 1 is both the blue coin goals, Fruit Ladies,
Uh huh.
uh, possibly Serena. And then row 3, I believe I was going to get Serena with the lives. Um,
Well, no, because you did
but
lives. You did lives as your like first goal.
yes, and that was the mistake. I needed 2 hiddens from Gelato. Like
Mhm.
I wasn't going to click lives anyway, so I shouldn't have done them so early. And same thing with Pachinko. Like, sure, it works me towards 6 reds, but I was going to get the hiddens from Gelato and then go back and do Delfino Shines anyway. So, like, I should have saved the slower Delfino Shines for later.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing was, is like when you lost the 2 hiddens, you had to like almost flip to getting the 6 reds because you were down in shines at that point from getting all the lives.
Yeah.
So in
And
order, well, you probably
I
could have won row
also,
4.
yes.
Row 4 would have been hard.
It was going to be tough. Yeah. But I also, like, couldn't do 6 reds because I had 5, like, easily available, but to do another, red, like I would have had to invest a lot of time into a world. So I needed to go all the way to Noki 3 to do it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it just ended up being really, really bad after that point.
Mhm.
So to like this is the way the route should have played out. Should have been fast Delfino shines to Gelato, grabbing like the lives on maybe like the lives under Plaza on the way, like maybe.
Maybe.
And then so then go to Bianco, do the Bianco won some blues plus lives better than I did it because I didn't play very well. But beat PD. Was I going for 3 secrets? No, I can't remember.
Probably
But
at the no.
no, that was that was end. I was letting that one go. But then do the rest of the Delfino shines, be first into Noki, maybe some Serena in there. I
Mhm.
don't know, but yeah, it just didn't.
It
Yeah,
didn't work out because you didn't have row 5 at that point, and then you were trying to fight that back. That
right.
was like the big issue in this match.
Yeah, but I felt like I had to play really risky on this card against SB. I don't think in general, like I think in general I can usually outroute him, but this card seemed to have a pretty straightforward route that I needed to do something crazy
Yeah,
to try to win. Yeah,
yeah, I can see that. But SB's route I think worked out well. Did he probably went to Serena late game? Um,
yeah,
so really the only thing he had to do in early game was like one hidden Enrico, and then somewhat get secrets. But then you basically go Pinna. Oh, I remember
yep.
SB spent a lot of time trying to do Pinna 5 from the back, and he didn't get that,
Yeah, that was interesting.
which ended up being kind of bad because he could have had row 4 a lot easier. But when he dipped on
Yeah,
that, it just made. But granted, it it would have
yeah,
mattered if he didn't get row 3, but you
right.
weren't in a position to go for eel.
Yeah. I do kind of disagree with SB's going for the two hidden gelato. Like obviously it's super worked out at sniping me, but I really think the better just overall route would have been to just stay in Rico a little longer, get to Pinna, and just like win rows two and sorry, rows 3 and 4. And then you get like secrets and
Yeah,
butterflies and maybe one from each or maybe hundreds, like depending on what's left at that point.
yeah, I can
Like
see
just
that.
a 2, 2, 3, 4 rush is really strong. And plus you've got 25 shines, 20 blues from Noki as a backup in row
And
one. So
exactly, and
if
then
you
you
pull
you
fruit
can play
ladies
around
early,
that. Mhm.
yeah. Which is why the two hiddens in gelato caught me really off guard, but
Mhm.
it was obviously a smart play, and I think it just like made the match super easy for him after he got that goal.
Mhm. Yeah, that was Bragai SB. Moving on to losers
Indeed.
court. No,
Yeah, I don't know.
it's
Deep in
it's like
losers.
losers. I think round 5 or something. Anyways, this is
Okay.
Larvy versus Danny. Larvy in blue, Danny in red. Yes.
Yeah.
So this looks like relatively close. I
Yeah, I'm
think it
trying to
looked closer than
remember.
it was because I think Larvy
I
couldn't
think that's
contest
the
a
case.
row. I think
Yeah. Yeah, I don't I don't remember this match too much, I gotta say. We see Danny getting blues again though. I know he
uh-huh.
doesn't typically like to do that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'm
I don't
really
know. It was a match. Danny's really fast.
because like so the main contention was row 3 and row 5.
Yeah.
Um, Danny went through all of Pinna to get both the butterflies for row 3, which makes sense why he is that. He got the totals.
Hmm.
What would he have started with? I guess the one hidden Enrico. Played that into bosses. Larvy did things. I don't. What would he
Yeah,
have?
I don't. Maybe he got sniped in Rika? No. I don't know. Oh, Larvy had the big brain 25 shines turbo, I think.
Oh, I think I do remember that.
I think that was his match.
Hmm.
But
I really like. I
yeah.
really can't decipher like anything that happened here.
Larvy saying he thinks he started Pianta in chat. No, wait. Unclear. Unclear. Oh yeah. Okay, wait. Yeah, Larvy was doing Pianta hundreds and was like 50 coins in. Did a hover slide to like the chain chomp bath area
Hmm.
and got stuck in the wall, like the star, like the infinite bonk or whatever, where the stars were flying out.
Oh,
Had to exit area and just like lost the goal. Got super lost like minutes to that.
yeah.
Wait, was behind on shine count from that point onward. Like it was just bad.
Hmm. Yeah, and because what Pianta? I guess Pianta had Goopy Inferno.
Butterflies, hundreds.
Yeah, so Pianta progress was like super important.
Yeah, like 3 from 4 as well.
Yeah, like starting Pianta wasn't even like super bad. It was actually
No,
probably pretty.
it looks really good. Yeah.
Sets you up really well for row 3. You're like Pianta's 3 shines that you're gonna want for 3 from 4.
Yep. And not terrible. Like a row 2 play is possible if you do Delfino's to Noki after your Pianta.
Hmm. But yeah, Shine Lead was just like it looks super important. You have both cannon moles, one from each.
Yep.
Bosses to a certain
Bosses
effect,
could be in
which
Noki.
and then Danny was able to get totals, which
Yeah.
when you have three of those goals, you put a lot of pressure on the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the big thing that set Larby back here. And after that, he was just sort of fighting from behind.
Because that was a lot of Danny's goals. If you look at them, they just combined well. Four bosses, five bosses.
Yep.
Ended up doing Rico. Like it all synergized really well. And Larby
Definitely.
spent a lot of time in Gelato and Serena.
Yeah, slower worlds. Well, at that point, like when you know you're behind on shines,
It
you
doesn't. It
might just
doesn't.
have to say
Yeah, it
like, I
doesn't really
can't
matter
win
too much.
Noki, so I need to go do other stuff. Yeah.
All right, that was that
Yep.
match.
All right.
As much as we could decipher. This is RSW Guy. So this was
Yeah.
this was a top eight match that I mean we expected Guy most likely, but RSW made a huge losers run to get
Yeah.
to this point.
Let's see. Like, let me remind myself of the bracket here. Taking out, yeah, Urinal Mike, who had previously beaten Oatflaker, taking out Reed, and Zophos were his other opponents down there.
Yeah, crazy run to
So
get to
yeah,
this point, but
totally. I think no one saw this coming. RSW making top eight,
hmm
but yeah,
Guy was
unfortunately,
a big speed boy.
oh yes, quite
Um,
fast.
I'm guessing that RSW probably got sniped to a couple things. Probably the Bianco 4 Floodless, because think about like the 7 enemies,
Yeah,
the 3
that
hiddens. I think
might be the
RSW might have
case.
started with 3 hiddens actually.
Yeah, I don't remember this one either.
Yeah,
It's a decent chance I might have even commentated this. I don't know.
I think you did when I was looking back and getting the cards.
Okay, well, yeah,
Guy probably
it's
went to
just
Serena somewhat early because he got the 3 secrets.
yeah,
The 3 secrets, the 10 and 20. Although I don't know how he would have won 3 from 4. I guess maybe just by being fast.
yeah. I think like it was really the speed difference. Like even with all the Serena, guy still won out to Noki, like the three times from Noki,
Yeah.
and he's just really really fast in that.
And he even did Bianco shines along the way.
Yeah, that might have been his last. I think Shadow Mario was his last goal. I
Oh,
think
okay.
I think he got up to four floodless, then like got everything else, and then finish out in
hmm
Bianco. Could be wrong, but I think that's how it played.
But yeah.
Yeah, just guy being quick. And RSW's routing like had been super good up to this point, and I'm sure like he still had some good ideas in this match. But when you're up against someone faster than you, if you get sniped, it's really hard to come back
hmm
from that.
All right. So this is Danny Ramato. This is
Hypest match of
losers,
the tournament, hands down.
I believe. Yeah.
This was the craziest match
Oh,
for sure.
yes. I think we commentated this one too, didn't we?
Maybe I definitely did.
I think I remember commentating because we were popping
Yeah,
off over just like the crazy European mind
yeah,
games.
yeah. I think so. I think so.
God,
Oh
I
my
mean, oh,
god, what even happened here? Though that's the question. Like I do seem to remember both of the rows that are like contested
yeah.
were very contested. I'm trying to remember how, but so Ramato in orange did blues classic,
hmm
and we got Danny in purple, who like this card seemed to favor him. Like the blues, there wasn't much for Ramato.
Oh, I remember now. So row
Okay.
3 was a huge thing. So there was like this 50-50 Danny had. So like
Yes. Yes.
Danny
Okay.
Danny was worried about row 2 at some point because he thought Ramato could have gone through Pianta, got birds, and then did like 100 coin and Pinna, which
Yeah.
caused
So
him to do.
even if Ramato was like at Pianta 4 or 5 or something, if Ramato just takes hundreds in Pinna and then just runs through the rest of Pianta, like Danny loses.
hmm
So Danny needed to lock up those hundreds in Pinna to secure it.
Which is why Danny went to go do that instead of doing like lives or something in row 3, which gave
Yeah.
Ramato time to go do lives and then enter Gelato before Danny. But the other thing is Danny came down to a 50-50 at that point because he could have gone and Don Gelato 100 and still beat Ramato. But then he
Hmm.
went to Serena, did lives, and then
Or like didn't even do lives. He
didn't.
entered
Yeah,
Serena, got like halfway through Serena 2, and then was like, wait, Ramato has Pianta 5 unlocked.
that was the
Or
that was
so
that,
he
that was the
thought.
logic at the point. Yeah.
Yeah, because he that I guess that's worth noting. Like Ramato followed Danny into Serena, and Danny had no idea at any point that like Ramato had any progress there.
Hmm.
And so that gave Ramato a nice life grind. Like he never had Pianta progress or beyond Pianta 3 at least.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, that let Ramato with the brilliant delay click like didn't click the 25 lives
Oh
until he had
yeah.
already started Gelato hundreds. Yeah, just really really solid stuff.
Oh yeah. Two rockets was also a thing. Um,
Yes.
because Danny didn't expect Ramato to like be doing that. I think it was the play was like rushing Pinna at that point, and he didn't think he would have had the progression for it. So Danny got the
Hmm.
two rockets, didn't click it, and then Ramato clicked it later, which
Yeah,
put a
and
real
it was like much later. Like there was a good minute and a half or so between when Danny got it and when
Mhm.
Ramato clicked it. Danny was just like mega delaying.
Yeah, and that was huge because Danny went to Rico and could have gotten Rico 8 a lot later, but
Yes.
because of that, Ramato
Yes.
won out row one with the rest of his blues play.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, just a crazy match all around.
yeah, like definitely worth like a rewatch because they were both
Yeah.
just playing mind games with each other at some point.
I really do think that this like shows off what row control can do because this is like that's not something you do in a standard lockout. You don't delay things for like minutes on it, like maybe a little bit, but
Yeah.
unless you're really sure your opponent hasn't been there. But
Hmm.
the thing about this is the positioning of the goals is so crucial and the timing of like when to go for stuff and when you can reveal the information that you've done things like
Yeah. Well, I'll talk about it
yeah,
more later, but like information was
true.
just super crucial in this format.
Yeah.
Like if you could play with information, you win 95% of the time.
Yeah, totally.
Um, but yeah, was row 4 contested or not row 4? Yeah, row 4. Was
Row
like Ramato
4.
like was Ramato close to either of those goals?
I don't think so, no. Because Danny, I think, waited on the four shines from Serena and clicked that last.
Hmm.
Um, I think Ramada was maybe working towards it, but then Danny took it.
Yeah, I see. But yeah, that's this match was super epic. And of course, you had Bry Guy paper commentary, so
Yes, yes,
makes everything that
very,
much better.
very yeah, true.
All right. So this is me versus Guy. Um,
Yes,
this match
also
was
a really hype
this
match.
was also super close.
Yeah,
Um, let me figure out what the heck I did.
right.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I see a lot of blues. What did I start with? Did I do like a 5 linked rush? I
Maybe.
think so, because I got the goals in Pinna
Yeah.
plus reds. I might have done like
Plus,
a.
right. Yeah, like a Bianco start.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't remember. This was a really early match. Happened a while ago.
I really only remember the ending parts of this, but yeah, I'm guessing I started with some sort of blue coin type thing where I got like the 5
Hmm.
links into Pinna to set up for, red coins, gold birds, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Um, I remember Guy got a pretty big snipe on Pin 100 from me. I had like 80 coins or
Yes.
something.
Yeah, I
Um,
did. Did he delay that? Yes, he did. That was brilliant. He knew he had pin hundreds. You clicked lily pad right when you got it, and he waited like the perfect amount of time
yeah.
between lily pad and like pin hundreds and clicked it right when you had 80 coins.
Hmm. Or I forget. It might have just been that close. I don't remember if he delayed that or not.
I'm pretty sure. Oh, if it was that close, like no, I'm pretty sure he delayed. I think I was commentating this,
I think you were. Um,
but I don't know. Yeah.
But yeah, so like the interesting thing was we both were like in Pinna relatively the same time, and after Pinna 100, we both like didn't want to go to Serena.
Yeah.
And Serena ended up being huge because of the no clipping, which mattered on row 4, because both of us had like clear rows at that point. I had
Hmm.
row 5 and 2, he had row 1 and 3, and so it all came down to no clipping.
Yeah.
Um, which I ended up being ahead on, even though I thought like I wasn't because of guys 5 bosses click, I think it was.
Yes, something like that. But yeah, he didn't end up having any surrender progress or something like that.
Hmm. Yeah, he had no surrender progress, so I was up in no clipping, and then just like barely made that comeback. I believe Guy started with hiddens on this card.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Hmm. But yeah, I think the big things were the 100 coin and Pinna, which made me lose that row. Um, and then neither of us going to Serena. We both went to go do our other things. I think I went to do 2 from 5 and Goldbirds before I went to
Yeah,
Serena. But like hindsight, that was really bad because like I should have identified that Serena 3 no clipping was like important and like that was the win con.
sure.
Um, but
Yeah,
it worked
interesting
out.
match.
All right.
Okay. So what?
So
That was quarters. Now we're in losers semis.
semis. So
Boom.
this is me
Paper
versus Ramato.
Romano.
So this match had a very interesting start. So Ramato and I both do 15 blue coins from Brico. I barely beat him to
This was
that.
crazy. Yeah. So
One hidden.
You did DeLorean. Ramato does Beat Shine.
Mm,
Gives you like a 5 second edge.
yeah.
Maybe 10. And like, yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and like the thing was, so in the moment, right? I was like, my 15 from Rico, sloppy. There's no way Ramato was doing this goal. Turns out he
Yeah.
was doing that goal.
Yep.
One hidden from Rico. Turns out Ramato was also doing that. So I beat him to
Yeah.
both of those things. And in
But
the
you have no idea. That's the thing.
I had
Like,
no idea, but I had a slight idea when I was in Pinna because I was like, something's not right here.
sure.
And then when he clicked the 6 birds, I was like, okay, it's like slightly more likely that I actually sniped him to stuff.
Right.
And the thing was, as I had a lead in Pinna, but um, I dipped because I thought that it like wasn't gonna work out.
Sure.
Which ended up being really bad for me.
Yes. Were you
I
worried about the delay click on the Pinna Blues? Like,
I think
because
that was the
if
case.
you had won Pinna 3 hoverless, I think this would have been a completely different bingo.
Probably.
Like, you get that, you're set up for bells, you're in real good
Yeah.
shape at that
The other
point.
thing was I died in Pinna 2, which was like a
Oh,
super like that. If I hadn't died there, I probably would have kept going.
yeah. I think you were still ahead even after the death. Like, Romano was way behind because he stopped for the 15 blues
Yeah.
that you didn't.
But at that point, I went to Pianta because I didn't think Ramato had Rico progress. That was just like the conclusion I was
Yes.
making. So I was like, okay, I can go do these shines from Pianta, get this, go back and get Rico, and then ride Yoshi and Pianta, and I can still get row 3. And then he clicked off the 6 from Rico and the 2 from Rico, and the 2 hidden, and I was like, probably over.
Yeah.
And then he got me on a snipe to Bianco for Floodless.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that was the big thing. Like, if you knew he had Rico progress, your play would have been pretty obvious. Like, as soon as he gets 15 from Pinna and 6 birds, like, he's going for row 3. He wants those 2 hiddens. But yeah, if you just don't know where he is, it's super hard to commit to that.
and this was Ramato playing with information, which is why,
Yep.
information is honestly sometimes even more powerful than having more goals.
Right. It really depends though. There's a fine line, right? Like, you can't let your opponent run away with too many easy goals.
Exactly.
You got to get yourself on the card somewhere. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's really interesting.
But yeah, I think even at that point, I still like it would have been hard. But if I had like won 4 Floodless, there would have been a chance.
Yes, it would have been a lot closer. That 4 floodless race was crazy. You both decided at the same time. Like, I can't remember what goal got clicked, but a goal was clicked, and then you both went for Bianco 4 floodless, and it was really close.
I want to say it was Bells.
Yeah, it might have been both bells.
But yeah, I mean,
I don't remember.
it was like a lot of contesting stuff, and then Ramato just beat me out to like everything very slightly.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, I think once you bailed on Pinna, he just sort of had Yoshi and had a lot more options,
Yeah, my options were
and
very
like
limited,
locked up row three. Yeah,
which forced me to play, differently because I only had 4 rows to go for, whereas he only has to go
right.
for 2, or like 3
Yeah,
rows to get from.
yep. And like if you had gotten the two hits from Rico, you would have had row one easier. You would have been more set up for row three. Like it would have been a race to eel at that point. And if you force Ramato to commit to eel, then you can go do like
Other
row
thing, yeah, row
three
four,
or something. Row four. Yeah, yeah.
row 4 and 5.
Hmm.
But yeah, it'd be like that sometimes.
It
Ramato still
it
played it like
does.
really well after coming back because he got sniped to 2 important goals, and then
Yeah,
he had to
I think
play.
that's really worth noting. Like the tilt is so real. Like he got sniped by like seconds to both of his first goals. Like
Hmm.
but still played really well for the rest of the bingo. Like didn't drop his routing skills. Like just identified his win conditions, which I think is really impressive.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Moving on, another match featuring Ramato. This is Ramato versus
Get
Guy.
ready for more Rivado matches. Spoilers. Yeah,
Um,
this card does not tell the story. This match came down to one goal.
all right, do tell, Mr. Guy.
Okay. Um, I don't even remember what.
I know Ramato started Delfino Shines. That is what I remember. I think you
Yes.
started Rico.
Yes. Okay. So I had a plan. Ramato totally foiled my plan. Classic. I thought
Ah,
he was
wow,
going
I
to
never saw
do.
that one coming.
I know, crazy. I thought he was going to do the Gelato Blues first, but instead did the Delfino Shines. I think my
Oh,
play.
right. Yeah.
So my play was a 50-50 setup. I think I did like Bianco two.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay, okay. Here, no, no. Here's what I did. So I was playing for rows 1, 3, and 4. I want to say. Hold on.
row
Yeah,
3.
I wanted Bianco
Oh,
4 Floodless,
I
3 shines
see.
from Noki, and 4 bosses. I wanted Delfino shines, 25 shines, and enemies with secrets maybe as a backup. And I wanted one hidden from Rico, I think 4 from 3, and then have the Bianco set up at the end.
And
So
that
those
plan was under the assumption that Ramato doesn't do Delfino Shines.
I didn't think Delfino shines were as strong as they were on this card. I didn't recognize like I saw the 9 and 10, thought that was fine, but didn't realize that row three was so free with Delfino shines. Like
Yeah.
the 15 from Gelato was such a crucial goal, and I didn't realize it until Ramato clicked Delfino shines. So he clicked. I went to Gelato right away to try to stop that, but
It was too
it
late.
was too late. Yeah,
And I
because
think
he
you
saw
didn't even
that.
have like much of a choice at that point because I think you were just finishing. Were you really just finishing one hidden Enrico at that point?
Yes, because
Wow.
I had done some Bianco. So my plan, my setup,
Oh,
I was covering myself just in case like Ramato had done something else,
yeah.
which I think was still worked out. Like
No,
I
that
was
was
even
that.
after this goal, the
Mm-hmm.
match was not over.
It wasn't.
Um, but I grabbed a Delfino Shine, Bianco 2, and then started through Rico. So
Yep.
like if we needed to flip to 9 from Plaza, I'd have a lead. If we needed to flip to Bianco, I'd have a lead. Like it just I was trying to play very reactive at the start here. Um, but so I ended up getting both Rico, the hidden Rico. Then I went for the Gelato Blues, and I think um, had the hundreds and hundreds from a secret as a backup.
Yep. I believe that's what you did right
Yeah.
afterwards.
So
But
as
you
soon as
delayed
I
that the entire
the
bingo.
entire game. Yeah. So this was the thing. So he takes 15 from Gelato. Um, I as soon as he clicks that, like I know his entire route pretty much.
Uh
He's
huh.
got 9 from Plaza. He's got 15 from Gelato. He's getting the 10 from Plaza for sure. He's getting the blues, the pin of blues, like 3 shines from Noki, and I thought he wanted 3 100 coins. So I couldn't reveal that I had any hundreds because then he
Then
immediately goes and finishes his hundreds and then I lose.
exactly.
So I needed to keep that secret. But I was worried he was going to go for Bianco 4 Floodless instead of the hundreds. So I went to get that and click that. But yeah, at that point I gave up the shine lead. Yeah,
Oh, and you know what the other big thing here was? You left Pianta one shine away
yeah,
from no damage.
Yeah, so I can explain that one as well. So I was what in I
You
think
were.
I'd done two shines in Pinna or something.
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't have any Pinna progress. I This was maybe after Bianco 4 floodless or something. I went up to Pianta. Ramato had clicked like 55 total, and I started noticing that row 5 was also an option for him, so I needed to contest that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's 2 from 5 there, as well as Pianta 3 no damage list, as well as Piantissimo's.
Mm-hmm.
So like I thought I could maybe get away with getting the 2 from Pianta and then um, doing hundreds. So I was gonna go all the way through Pianta 3 no damage taken, but Ramato clicked something else at that point. Like while I was in Pianta 2,
Right now, I'm trying to figure out what it was.
he clicked something and oh, I think it might have just been total blues. Yeah. He clicked one of the total blues, like maybe 50 or 55, made me think he was doing blues with hundreds and that there was no way he was doing blues like in Pianta.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought he was doing hundreds at that point, so I left and tried to snipe hundreds.
Mm-hmm. But
But
even still, you would have been. You only knew Ramato would have had 100 coin at that point. Like I think you
yes,
still
so
could have.
that's why I left, because I thought he was like finishing up his second 100 coin when he got those blues. And then I already had two, so I needed to go do a third quickly. But I also thought he had access to like Pinna hundreds and Noki hundreds, which were
Oh,
both
the
really
fast
fast.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, which he didn't go as far into Pinna as I thought he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he only did up to just get the 25.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, and then Ramato could have just committed to Noki at that point, and you didn't really have a way to stop that.
yeah. I almost could have had Piantissimos if I'd played a little better. Maybe I was like entering Gelato 5 when he got it.
Yeah.
And if I had that, I think I possibly still could have won it. I just needed to enter like Pinna 1, get 4 bosses, and then Pinna 2 for 2 from 5.
Mm-hmm.
But it was close. And if I had taken Pianta 3, like I think this would have been a totally different game, because at that
Yeah.
point I then finish hundreds and then get bosses. But I don't know if Ramato, like he could have still flipped to bosses while I did hundreds, so it would not have been as like
It wouldn't have been as
super clear.
clear. Yeah.
Yeah, but
But yeah. Honestly, like
yeah,
just like the 9 and 10 from Delfino, like it ended up being a lot better of a play than you must have been expecting. I
yes,
think it
I
was
thought
stuff. It was stuff like 4 from 3 secrets, enemies, two
two
from
from
five.
five. Yeah, I just didn't see how strong it's set up for row 3. That was the thing. I missed that 15 from Gelato was a doable goal with the 9 shines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, I
But
think.
yeah, I mean, nice route from Ramato. Like, spotted
Uh-huh.
it, took it down.
All right, so this is grand finals match 1.
Oh boy.
Um,
This was hype.
so SB in green, Ramato in orange. Um, the main point was row 3, but I'm just trying to remember how both players started. I believe SB started one hidden in Bianco,
Yeah,
and then went.
possibly.
I think he went one hidden in
Yes.
Bianco into Serena to get secrets. Yes, I do remember that. So I think that's what
Yeah.
SB did. Ramato.
We were very confused by that because like Gelato 1 was a secret. So SB did Serena 4 and Serena 2 hidden.
Yeah,
There
that
was
was
no reason to go that far into Serena. Like you
absolutely.
get nothing out of that. Gelato 1 is a faster secret. You open up Gelato, like
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a bit confusing. Like there's no 4 shines from Serena here or anything to even benefit from going that far
Nah,
into it.
I think he might have done. Did he do both of them? Yeah, I think he did both of them for red coins. So literally doing the 3 shines in Serena and then 2 in Gelato would have just been better
Yeah, it
completely
would have been
overall.
so much faster, yeah. And I think it set him back enough that like really ended up hurting him in
Mm-hmm.
the end.
But then Ramato did a
But
bunch of blues, which helped him
yeah, I
out.
mean look at this card. Like 25 from Rico, 15 from Gelato, 20 from Noki, 20 from Bianco, 50 total, 60 total, 8 links. Like Ramato just had his blue card,
Mm-hmm.
but still SB kept it close.
Yeah. So let's talk about this. So the main point is row 1 and row 3. So pretty
Yeah.
much SB got defeat Eel, Ramato's in Bianco collecting the 20 blues to finish out row 5. SB
Hmm.
also got up that far in Bianco for red coins at some point. I think so.
Yeah.
And the one hidden.
Yep.
So SB had that progress, right?
Right.
He only had to
Worth,
do.
worth noting that row 5 is actually super contested here. Like SB has Raidoshi and Pianta for sure,
Yeah.
and Nine Shines from a Level was probably closer to SB than Ramato. So
Hmm.
that's why he was so scared of those 20 blues.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, so SB starts birds like roughly the same time as Ramato does. But Ramato doesn't do birds. He instead finishes out his 20 and then gets his first 100 coin. Or no, it's kind of in like a
Yeah.
reverse. It's in a weird order. He does
Yeah.
100 and then he finishes out 20. And then SB clicks 7 birds, which gets him that row. And so it's all down on 300 coins, but Ramato has a lead because he has 100 coin, and then he wins out the 3 hundos.
Yeah. And I think that was really the thing. So Ramato needed to win 2 out of 3 rows, row 1, 3, and 5. SB just needed one of them. Or no, they both needed two out of those
Yeah.
three. But Ramato's way of setting up for it was really nice. He like unlocked Bianco 5, but didn't do it yet, and then like did hundreds in Bianco 3 to give him 100, but also get some blues, but not all the blues, and then could go back and like finish blues in Bianco 5 if he needed to, or like swap to hundreds, or like he was just really set up for all of it.
Yeah, and that was the big thing is once he set up those multiple options and reacted to just whatever SB clicked.
Yeah,
And I don't think SB and I talked about it later about how like he could have delay clicked the 7 birds, but at the same time, like you really don't know if Ramato was doing that or not, and he could very easily have done that.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
so
like how much you delay. I think he should have delayed a little bit, like enough to get started on 100 at least.
yeah, maybe be like halfway in, because like
Yeah,
at that
but you
point,
can't you can't delay a full 100.
I mean, you could.
You could
Well,
like that is paper. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think because SB's position is you don't like you still have another match after this, so I think
Yeah,
you could afford to take the risk because like you won't win this match if you click 7 birds. Like
true.
that's well, I mean, unless Ramato has no 100 coins and he was going
Yeah,
for seven
if he was
birds.
banking, right, that's the play, right? Like you don't know if he's going for that or if he's done 100.
Hmm. Yeah, I think at this point you have to bank on Ramato potentially having 100 coin and you delay the 7 birds like enough to be like 70 coins or something like so that you can at least contest 300 coins afterwards. But
Yeah,
that's just a hard call to make.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, it's tough.
and if SB had like done gelato instead of the extra 2 shines in Serena,
Yeah, it
also would
might
have
have
been
been enough.
different
Yep.
because that would have been like a whole minute in route and routing pretty much.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if SB got sniped anything else along the way. It was like 3 rockets. It was SB had like access but didn't get him yet.
yeah, I don't think
I don't know. So but that extra minute right could have afforded him some other goals along the way.
exactly. Um, but yeah, that was the first match of grand finals. 5 minute break. And then this was the last match of the tournament. Um,
Yeah, this one less hype,
less
unfortunately.
less hype, unfortunately.
Yeah, Ramato just sort of ran away with this.
Uh huh.
Let me starting with 15 coins in Pianta.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, started with 15. I think SB started Rico.
Yep, just got 2 hidden in Rico, but like it's not enough.
No, like
Like
not.
row 4 is really hard to win unless you commit to Piantissimos, which Ramato had the Pianta progress, and
Hmm.
yeah, it's
Um,
tough.
but yeah, yeah, Romano did that. He did M's, set up for
Yeah, which
totals.
really strong start
Uh
doing
huh.
Pianta blues into M's. Like recognizing that everything in row 4 sucks. So if Ramato takes the Pianta blues, then he's in good shape.
Hmm.
And then M's is
Um,
a nice thing to follow up into.
it is important to note that Romano beat SB out to both bosses' goals, and SB wanted both of those. So like SB did a pseudo boss rush at the start. Actually, that's what he did. He
Yeah,
didn't go straight Rico.
yeah, you're
Um,
right.
but then he ended up losing the 4 unique, and then he ended up losing the 6 bosses. And if he got the four
Yeah,
unique, he could have at least made a better play to get row 5 potentially.
yeah.
Um,
Would have been closer. Ramato had the Pianta bird as an option, but
Potentially,
like,
yeah.
yeah. but like SB stopped bosses. Like he could have had them
Exactly.
if
That's the other
if
thing.
he had rushed harder. Like he just never went to Pinna. If he had just gone to Pinna this match, like he
Yeah.
wins for unique.
Well, he
He
went to it at some point. He just didn't go
oh
to
he
it
went to
because
it. Yeah, yeah. It was really late though.
yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
did Romano do no damage at the start?
I
I don't
think that was. I think he revisited that later.
later.
Yeah,
Yeah. But yeah, that Pianta play does
because
set that up for well.
I don't think he even finished Pianta 2 when he was there. I think he just got the 15 blues exit area and then went for M's.
Maybe. I want to say he finished out the shine.
Okay, maybe he finished it. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see why you wouldn't in this case, in case you need two Piantissimos, plus you just get another shine out of it.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Could be wrong on that then.
but yeah, and then the time SB invested in bosses just didn't serve him anything.
Yeah,
Um,
that's what really set him back here. Like last match, it was going to Sereno. This match, it was putting in time to like what was it, PD and Manta, and then just not getting
yeah.
anything out of it.
Because like at that point, he still could have won the four shines from Serena. If Ramato didn't have Yoshi, he gets Pinna Shadow Mario, and like he could still win the six bosses. But since like he didn't prioritize that,
Yeah.
like he ends up losing two potential rows, and then at that
Yep.
point, um, row
Did SB also do Gelato 2 for 4 from 3, I think, at one point?
I
And
think
then
he
he had
did.
the option. He had the option to go. Yeah, he had the option to go Wiggler into Mecha to still win 6 bosses, but he didn't do that either.
I do believe that is the case. Um, but yeah, like and then SP's route set him up well for row two, but then Ramato just like he got the three rocket. Actually, that was the other thing. Ramato had like a lead for two Piantissimos, but he didn't
Mhm.
know SP's progression. And
Yeah.
so this was the super safe play on Ramato's part that like Deathline and I were like kind of hang on, I'm not dropping frames. Anyways, so like Deathline and I were like questioning it, but then like at the same time like I understood Ramato like he was trying to cover all his bases because if SB like had delay click something and had progression he wasn't ready for, then he
Yeah.
wins row and then he can still get 25 in Rico before Ramato.
Yeah.
Um and then he wins the bingo. So
Yep.
Ramato makes the flip to row two. He gets three
Really
rockets.
smart.
He's up in totals, and then he gets the 25 blues in Rico, and then he seals it out that way, which was really,
Yeah.
really smart.
Totally.
Um,
Yeah, I mean Ramato, like I think that's been the theme of the past 3 matches. 4, honestly. Like his comeback against you, him out routing me, and then like he plays smart bingo and he's fast. And like that gave him the tournament.
yeah, for sure.
I think pretty safe to say that his first loss against SB was a fluke. Like he was winning the first game and then I think just picked a bad route in his
The
winners
second, yeah.
winners match against SB.
It also could have helped him to go through losers since he had to play through like all of us. He played through Danny, through
It's
me,
true.
through you. Like he got to play, the top players and then go in to fight SB for the last
Yeah.
match.
And like Danny, you, me, all those matches like came down to goals.
Yeah.
Like like they were all super close matches.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think Ramato just showing what he's made of here.
Ramato is the bingo champion.
Absolutely.
Uh yeah, do you have anything else to say on that match, Bry Guy?
Don't think so. It was a solid grand finals, though I think the build up to it was more hype than the grand finals itself. Like the Ramato losers run
It was
was just
yeah.
a string of insane matches.
For sure.
And then game one of grand finals was pretty hype.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Because it came down to,
this time,
one goal at that point.
yeah.
All right. So we're gonna get into our last set of topics. So we're gonna talk about row
Ooh.
control as a format now, and I'm gonna ask Bry Guy what is potentially coming next.
Oh,
Um,
interesting. Interesting. Okay.
so let's talk about row control now, because like the format is basically finished at this point. Well, not finished, but like we've gotten
Yeah,
to
yeah.
a point where like
We
things
played
have
like 50 matches.
exactly. We've played a lot of row control. We understand more about this format.
Sure.
I just want to hear your overall thoughts on it, Bragg. I want to know what you think of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I think the point of comparison might be normal 1v1 lockout. Like what's different, what's the same. I think 1v1 has some set paths that are just like good. It's like pin a rush is good. Things like opening up your options and playing to the way your opponent plays is pretty good. And like delaying goals very slightly or figuring out your opponent's route is nice. I think row control has some interesting differences that make the routing a lot more intricate. Like plays that would suck in 1v1 end up being really good in row control.
Hmm.
You can just because the thing is in 1v1 you need 13 goals.
Yeah,
If you waste
exactly.
time in Serena, if you waste time doing hundreds, like doing fruit ladies, those are all just plays that lose you a bunch of goals.
Hmm.
But in row control, since you only need 9, if you can carefully pick your 9, you
Hmm.
can commit to some of these slower ones and like still win matches,
It
which I
works
think
out
is
the
really
same because like you get
interesting.
one goal in the time it would take you to like the other person to get 2 goals, but maybe they're in like not good rows or whatever the case is.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think it's a much more swingy format. I think 1v1 has a lot of potential to just if you and I played a bunch of 1v1, I think you would win a lot more than if you and I played a bunch of row control
Yeah,
because the row control can come to one routing decision. Like if a row is 2-2 and someone wins that third goal, the other opponent has just wasted so much time on those other two
especially
that
like depending on what the goals are. Like if you
yeah,
if you did like 8 links and two 100 coins or something, like that's virtually 10 minutes almost.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
And so I think it just leads to be a bit more upset prone, but not really. Like I mean, we look at the bracket. It's basically what we expected out of the top players. I think Oat got knocked out a little earlier than we thought. Like RSW maybe had some cool upsets, but generally the top seeds made it to
yeah.
the end of the format.
There was never a loss that was like super shocking, I would say. Like me
Yeah.
losing to you, I wouldn't say that's like a complete shock. SB beating Ramato, not a complete shock.
Yeah.
Um,
I think Urinal Mike over Oat like took us all by surprise, but now we see that Mike has his routing down and his
yeah.
gameplay and like is just really really solid.
Hmm. And that Oat
But
had
yeah, I
some
think you're
some
right.
slight issues in like the beginning of the format, but now it's like he's not
Yeah.
nearly like the same that he was. So he's more of a threat
Right.
in like future tournaments or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, what like strategies do you think have like developed in row control? Because like toward the beginning we were talking about like going like directly for 3 rows or 4 rows, but now it's more like isolating like specific goals or playing reactionary. Like what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think goals are really the interesting thing here. Let me how do I put this? It's like you want a cohesive route that sets you up for either like sets you up real nice for 3 rows or like kind of nice for 4 rows.
Hmm.
And oh, is it me
It's
that's
it's
that's
it's
cutting
me.
out?
It's me.
As you? Okay. Uh-oh.
Okay,
Video's not
there
available.
we go.
We're here? Okay.
Yeah, if you just
Yeah,
want
I think it's
to.
like um I don't know. I still haven't fully formed the thought. I think you want to go for for a way to either really set you up for 3 rows or kind of set you up for 4 rows. But you set yourself up for like fast goals that you can get at any time.
Yeah, I think that
I
was
don't
a
know.
big thing in like the format. It's just like quick goals that you can get at any point, especially when you string those together. Like you do like
Yes.
some goal that like sets you up for something else in a different row, and then like you often do like a really quick goal, like 3 fruit ladies, and like
Yeah.
that was like,
The Yeah, I think the thing that I've started thinking about more now is how much am I forcing my opponent to do? Like if I click a goal in some row,
hmm,
then they need to get 3 of the other 4, whereas I only need to get 2 of those.
yeah,
And if those other 4 goals suck, like then that row becomes so much easier for me.
for you to get in them to not go
Yeah.
for, and then you can kind
Yeah.
of piece together what their route's gonna be.
Right. I think
Um,
it's identifying which rows have fat like which rows have a distribution of fast and slow goals. Like some rows will have 4 really fast goals and one that sucks.
mhm,
And like I think that row is less important than the row with one really fast goal and 4 that suck.
agreed.
I think that's the one you want to go for.
Hmm. Let's talk about information.
Yeah, that's the
So,
other huge thing here.
um, cause like in other formats, like information was like important to piece together your route. Um, but I
Hmm.
think in this format it played like a slightly different way and just like the timings of things, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to phrase that, right?
I
Like,
know. Like
yeah,
just like information went from being like important at the like start of the tournament to very important at the end of the tournament, I would say.
totally. Like, if
Um,
you don't know where your opponent is, it's really hard to like. That's the thing. If you get two goals in a row, like you can think that row is pretty safe, but if you abandon it and do something else, and you don't know where your opponent is, you can suddenly just lose that row and lose all the time you put into it.
mhm.
I don't
uh,
know. Yeah,
hmm.
but the I think it's safe to say that the players that went really far in this tournament uh, were really good at hiding information or taking advantage of whatever information their opponent gave them.
Agreed. And that was why delay clicking was super good in this format because
Yeah,
you delay something for 5 or 6 minutes and your opponent just has to question it. Like, did
yeah.
they really just do that or what?
And sometimes you can even work back the delay. Like you can realize that they've delayed it, but it's
Hmm.
still those like 2 minutes where they didn't click anything. You were playing with no information, and like even if you can reconstruct it, it's like, oh shoot, now they're already ahead of me in so and so world. So what do I do? Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, I think that was row control. I think row control was super cool. The one issue I think is that the format is like maybe slightly inconsistent with just like the way it's played. But like as a
yeah,
viewer, that's more interesting to watch. And as a competitor, like if you're coming into it, you know, as one of the people who's like not expected to win matches, then it just becomes really hype when you win matches that you weren't expected to
yes,
because that's just the way this
totally.
format works.
Yep, I think it's more swingy than other formats for sure, which is something I didn't see like as I was coming up with the format and testing it with Ramato. Like that is not something that occurred to me, but I think the tournament really highlighted that that's the case.
Hmm. So Brad guy, what's next
Yeah,
in bingo?
that's a good question. I think there's a lot of like there's a ton of interesting stuff to still explore for Sunshine. Personally, I don't know if I'm going to be running anything at least until like next fall. Just got a pretty crazy rest of the year and summer. Um, but yeah, I think there's just so we've seen a bunch of regular bingo, which
Hmm.
I people still love, and I think it's still great. I'm a little less keen on it because it's sort of yeah, it's just been played a bunch, and you have 12 choices, you pick one of them, you do it as fast as you can, which is
Yeah.
definitely cool. Um, but personally, I'm more interested in the reactive or like the more interactive formats. Maybe I like ones where you what you do can influence what other players do.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Because
which
like
is
in
why I like.
2v2 lockout, you kind of
Mhm.
had like it was like a player versus a player and a player versus a player, and just like if you got beat out to your stuff, then it's like, well, I don't know what to do now. But it's like
Yeah,
in this format, if you got beat to something, it's like, okay, well, how do I play around this? What have they done?
yeah, and Romano really showcased that in his match against you. Like you can literally get sniped to your first two goals, but
Hmm.
still just come back and win the entire match.
Exactly.
Which I think can still happen in 2v2 if you play it right. Like you can
But
try to choke out one of their players
it's
or
a
something.
lot harder.
It's harder.
Especially like
Um,
if you're playing against two people
yeah,
who are just faster and they see like this route that like combines well together, it's just like, oh, how do I play around this?
yeah, yeah. So I think a bingo board is just so interesting. Like there's just so much you can do with it, and I'm excited to see what else like me, Ramato, anyone comes up with. I think for me personally, the most interesting formats now has been like the team blackout is kind of neat. It requires some like it's less interactive across the teams, but within a team, it's really cool trying to figure out a route. And then like as you play, if I mess up, like my teammate can sort of cover for me. Like sometimes you trade goals between each other.
Hmm. Things just
Um,
work out differently based on like how well you play or how well your teammates doing. Just
yeah,
kind of
and
hit.
then you're trying the whole game to like build towards the synchronization at the end so that you both finish at the same time,
Hmm.
which is pretty cool. Um, so I think that's sweet. I think there's a bunch of other 1v1 formats that Ramato and I are still exploring that are pretty exciting.
Hmm.
Um, Mostly lockout stuff, but
Yeah. But yeah,
that's sort of
I
where
think Team
my
Blackout
interest
could
is.
definitely be the next step in like a bingo tournament because like we haven't seen that. We've only seen lockout variants so far in like
Yeah,
tournament setting, and it'd be interesting to see like what team like
yeah,
you're not playing. You're kind of like playing to outspeed someone, but also you're trying to outroute them because
right. I think the one concern I have as a tournament format is that it's slightly less interesting to watch. Like,
probably because you're not getting sniped to anything. You're
yeah,
just
no one's
watching.
getting sniped. You're just watching people play Sunshine, and they're all doing different things. So there's no like hype races or anything. And then it's
Yeah,
not obvious when they're gonna finish until like the last 5 minutes, and then it's like, oh, okay, now it's close. Now it's exciting.
yeah, I can see you on that one,
But I
but
think internally and as a competitor, it'd be super sick.
it'd be
It'd be
super
super
fun
fun. Yeah, yeah,
because it's almost like you're doing a relay of a bingo card basically,
yeah.
and relays
That's interesting.
were super fun to do. So
Hmm.
I think doing bingo with like that kind of idea is be super fun.
Totally.
We'll see. Maybe we'll do like exhibition type things of 3v3 blackouts.
Yeah,
Um,
worth trying. 3v3 is also like super fun, but like 6 streams on a I'm just trying to like picture a layout and my head's hurting. But
mm,
could be sick too. Like bingo board in the center and then like a hexagonal no, I don't know.
that would be super funny. I'd actually love
Oh
to see
man.
that. But yeah, that or 2v2, just, I think there's a lot of possibilities.
Totally.
Maybe
Yeah.
even
I'm
like,
I'm excited to see what the community comes up with next. We also might be looking at very slight tweaks to the 1v1 boards.
ooh,
But probably not changing anything substantial.
2v2 row control.
Ooh, that'd be pretty crazy.
I, at the same,
Worth good.
I think at the same time though, you get like more likely to have strategies that are like, oh, you'll rush these 4 goals, I'll rush these 5 goals, and they will happen to work out together, and then we win.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's
I wonder if 2v2 row control on like the old boards would be interesting to
with
try.
like the long car with like the longer
Like
goals.
longer goals, things you got to commit to. Because I think a super interesting thing that could happen is like, so you're both going, you've set your 9 goals, right? You're going for them. Someone on your team gets sniped, but then like maybe you both switched into row 5 or something, and then
And then
and
you
then you
just
suddenly like just like take that row real quick, right? Like I don't know. I
that could
think
be
I think
interesting.
there's some neat stuff that could happen there.
Yeah,
Maybe worth trying before running a tournament or anything,
yeah.
but like
It'd be an
could
interesting
be sick.
format to try. But yeah, definitely like
Yeah,
with the old cards that had like the longer goals and stuff. And maybe you even like cut out some of the shorter goals
yeah,
to
possibly.
but then again, I still think you want to leave like a decent amount of those so you can have like that flip type thing.
Yeah, I
Um
think it's interesting. Worth trying on both cards even because like this there's some fast stuff on this. Like the matches would be like a half hour if we like
yeah.
did them on the current cards, which could be sick too. There'd just be a lot of really snap decision making.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Cuz like let's say
I think yeah.
you
Go
get
ahead.
sniped to something and then it's just like, "Oh, both of them are doing these things that I was going to do." And it's like, "Oh, well,
Yeah.
might be some problems
Yeah.
now." Especially cuz like if you're like let's say your route and your teammate's route don't line up very well like after you get sniped, then it's like what do now?
Yeah.
Which I think would be like the interesting thing.
Absolutely. I think all this is to say, like, for what's next, I'm just hyped that Bingo is back and going strong. Like, there's a ton of more interesting stuff to explore, and it seems like there's a good subset of us that are still really excited about this. So
Yeah, I think Bingo's
should
got
should
a
be
lot to
pretty
go.
cool. Totally.
Um, but yeah, I think that is all for the Pape recap show. Um,
Mhm. Of course, shout outs to Paper for putting on these shows, recapping the tournament.
anytime.
Exciting stuff.
It was a fun tournament.
Oh
Hopefully, we'll bring
yes,
this back whenever the next Sunshine thing comes up. Um,
for sure.
but yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I've been Paper.
Yep. I've been Bry Guy. Get hyped for Sunday.
Sunday, 120
Oh,
Shines
oh,
Invitational on Speed Gaming?
maybe.
Maybe?
I don't know.
We'll find out. Race of me, SB Electric, Guy 2308, and JJ SRL.
Pog Champ.
With Bry Guy, Trey, and Sid on commentary. I'm sure it will get linked everywhere so you'll know what's going on, but
Gonna be crazy.
it's going to be a good race. Guy is getting good, you know,
Oh yeah,
like it is it's going to be such a good time. You're going to want to watch it.
totally. All
Um
right.
Peace out
Until then,
everyone.
Sunshine Community. Yep. See you later.